What is up, Panther fans? It's your boy, the Professor, aka Tony Dunn, and this is the C3 Panthers at Falcons post game podcast, where we're gonna have to talk about this 31-24 loss over that the Carolina Panthers suffered at the hands of those dreaded Falcons, and all we can say is it sucks. It sucks being a loser. And Mel, how's the suckiness there in Charlotte?
Well, it's almost as bad as the weather, but the weather is pretty bad here. It's been a rough weekend, but this loss really just kind of rubbed it in the face of all Charlotteans. So it was
Yeah.
awful to lose to the Falcons.
Shout out to all the people that have suffered from Hurricane Florence. We've been enduring this now since Thursday here in Greenville. We were very, very fortunate to not have a problem. I was hoping the storm was going to move south rather than west. And when I say south, I was hoping that storm would go to Atlanta and wreck shop there. Really, as we look at this game, Mel, just initial reactions to this is for me, is the defense really let us down in this game?
Yeah, I mean, credit where credit's due, even though we hate those guys. And that's a very talented offense. I mean, they got a lot of weapons. And when I saw Freeman was down, it racked around in my brain. Tevin Coleman is a man, and he tore us up today. I mean, we had no answer.
That Elliott kid.
Yeah, I mean, they were at one point they were averaging over 8 yards per play. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, with three of your starting offensive linemen out, you did not expect the problem to be your defense, and it was the defense. But I must say, I'm very proud of the team. They fought to the end. They did keep pounding, as we like to say. They had a shot there at the end to get it done, and C.J. Anderson makes a couple of catches instead of a turnover. It could have been a different game. We were right there.
Joe Riolano, you back in the house?
I am.
All right, fantastic. Joey, like Mel said, who would have thunk that the defensive line would have been the Achilles heel of this team today? That Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, they have a passing attack. They just add more and more weapons. Mel was tweeting us about how good Calvin Ridley looked so you expect that kind of component to the game. I felt like the secondary almost played pretty well and held up as best they could. But it really got ugly when the Atlanta Falcons started gashing the run on us, man. That had to have been a big surprise for you.
For me, Tony, I have to say, this is the first game where the Panthers looked old and slow tonight. They just looked outmatched. I really felt they looked old to me.
I didn't like when Shaq Thompson, when he gave up that TD pass, how far he was trailing behind that tight end. You're just looking for him to be one of those guys that's flying from sideline to sideline that is just so overly athletic compared to the opposition. That was tough to watch there. Another thing, guys, why we saw a ton, or I felt like I kept seeing Vernon Butler out there. Maybe that's a good thing for Vernon Butler. But where was Poe and Short, and why aren't those guys holding down the middle? And I feel like that real one big run by that Elliott kid that he popped off 10 yards. I sent you guys a message that came back to, like, we're saying, hey, that was Vernon Butler's gap. Why isn't Poe and Short more effective in this case? Mel, I'll start with you.
It's a good question, and I think they're going to be studying that this week. And I mean, the best guess that I have, which is not a good excuse, but I think they put their game plan around Freeman, and then Coleman is just a little bit of a different back. He comes in, and I don't think they were as prepared as they would have been had Freeman been the back out there.
I would agree with you. I really would. Coleman's a totally different back. And the Panthers didn't look prepared. They truly didn't.
That's my best guess.
All right, so what we saw is this. We did see the Cam Newton McCaffrey show over and over today. McCaffrey racked up, I believe, somewhere. Last time I saw it was he had 10 catches for 69 yards. That was before the game was over. McCaffrey's really showing out, guys. He's been a weapon. And then there's been this debate that's emerged, though, where some people feel that McCaffrey has been overly featured in this offense, either taking away looks from other guys or taking away reps from a guy that many people are very excited about the way he played in CJ Anderson. The thing that showed today is McCaffrey shows why he takes reps away from all these guys, because he powered through. He ran hard. He was effective in both the running game and the passing game. He stuck that one safety and then there was a lineman like grabbing his junk at the end. I think he pulled a groin. It was so ugly. McCaffrey, the hit that McCaffrey laid on that safety. So you see all those things. And then when it's not going to Christian McCaffrey, you saw drop after drop from Devin Funchess, who had a very bad game or I would say a tough game today, as well as CJ Anderson. Two drops by CJ Anderson. One that hit him in the face, bounced up, and is intercepted. Where do you guys stand on how the Panthers offense looks with Christian McCaffrey and Cam Newton powering it at this moment? And what can we do at this point?
Well, I think they're a work in progress, right? I mean, new coordinator, new weapons, bringing everything together. It's early in the year. It is going to take some time. But we need somebody not named McCaffrey to step up, make some plays, help the guy out. Now, DJ Moore came on there at the end, made the great – what we got excited about when he was drafted is he made people miss and made a big play. We need to see more of that. And he almost arguably should have had that. I mean, it was a tough catch, but that was a game-winning catch. He could have made there at the end.
You're right, but it was a tough catch. For really as bad as the defense played, and for us to be in this game at the end, that really speaks volumes about how good the offense can be.
Right, I agree.
I think,
plus, not to mention, you got 3 offensive linemen out. Yeah.
Right. But if Funchess makes the catches he is supposed to, it's a totally different game.
Yeah.
I'm not pinning everything on.
Yeah, Torrey Smith.
Yeah, but
it's not.
Yeah, Torrey Smith had a drop.
What's that? What'd you say, Tim?
Torrey Smith, he had a drop, and I'm not blaming everything on Funchess. I'm just saying those drops were at pivotal moments in the game.
Yeah, absolutely, they were. It was tough.
That one that was a third down from deep in Panthers territory, I think it was, where the back shoulder throw where Cam Newton had put it on him. And, he just missed it. He wasn't playing with confidence today.
No,
we saw
absolutely not.
And then you saw another thing, Torrey Smith, up and down game for Torrey Smith. Penalties everywhere.
Yeah, that's
froggish.
surprising from a veteran.
However, I must say he gets a free pass because he was the one that came in and laid the lumber on the guy that hit Cam Newton in the face.
That's right? What I was also looking at there is that I'm writing off the false start penalties as him just feeling mighty froggish today. He goes after the guy that hits Cam Newton. Talk about a penalty, guy. We saw, I don't know if this is that the first ejection under the new rule in this season?
No, I think last week there was one.
Okay. All right. So we saw the Dirty Birds come out early in the game trying to get Cam Newton slides. He had been sliding for like 3 seconds already, and guy comes in and hits Cam, helmet to the face. You got to be worried about Cam Newton right away. That eye, he's like, I got something in my eye. And we hope it's not a concussion in his eye. It looked like his wrist was like something that he did something to his wrist on the play or his hands. That's what Miranda was saying as we were watching the game. So you get that with Cam Newton. These guys are going after you. It's nice to see the penalty called for once, and the fact that they ejected that guy. It was a dirty bird play. that's just what we've come to expect with Cam Newton. So you get that Cam Newton has been playing. How would you guys grade, or not grade like as in a letter grade or a number grade, but how do you feel about Cam Newton's performance? Cam Newton, I feel like this is that he goes out there behind, and I'm the defender of all things Cam Newton. He goes out there behind a line that has been decimated by injuries, which surprisingly held up better than I even thought it would. Given that we started a guy who hasn't even been on the team for 2 days at left tackle today. So I think Cam Newton goes out there. He had a couple of tough throws. He got away with a couple of them. We want to be so hypercritical about quarterbacks, their passer ratings, their completion percentages. But I feel like overall Cam Newton had a pretty accurate day. A couple of Cam Newton throws in there, mixed in there. A lot of guys weren't helping him out a lot. He was starting to show a lot of frustration, I think, in his face with having to deal with those things. Cam Newton, does he look to be continually to grow into Norv Turner's system and playing well, or you guys think that he's just kind of plateauing?
Oh, I think he needs some. Or go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, he's definitely not plateauing. I think he needs some playmakers. I mean, just imagine if you had Steve Smith in his prime on this team.
Man.
He doesn't have anybody that stretches that field, and it's just sad. I mean, he took one shot downfield, and I think that was one shot we've taken this year. We've taken no shots.
He has DJ Moore. I think Ron maybe tonight saw something that will merit DJ Moore getting more playing time.
I hope so, because he looked really good there at the end, but he's been non-existent to this point.
He ran that reverse early in the game too, and he made a nice run out of garbage.
He did. That's what he's known for, is kind of that punt return mentality as a receiver, making those big misses and big plays. And that's exactly what he did at a key time. And then he almost came out with a game-winning grab.
Yeah, man. Grab. I thought he had it.
51-yard touchdown for him. It was, you hear people saying, "Where's DJ Moore? Where's DJ Moore?" And you got to see him run after the catch. 2 defenders there, really, to attempt to stop him. He's able to break free, take it to the house, put us back in this game. How is it? Again, now my question is to you guys is that, look, we've got the fastest roster we've had in a while, to be honest. Torrey Smith and Jarris Wright played very well, I thought. And maybe if you get
he had a big drop too.
Dude, Jarris Wright
had a big, on the first drive of the game where it was third down and hit him right in the hands and dropped it, and then we had to go for the field goal. I mean, that's a big difference in the game. But Jarris Wright he's a good player. I'm glad he's on our team for sure. And we are missing Samuels, and today we missed Bird. So we had a lot of speed over on the sidelines.
How do we endure the injuries at this point? I feel like they're getting to a point right now where it's unsustainable. Again, today, for instance, Dante Jackson leaves the game with a hamstring injury, does not return. We need him in the secondary. Denoris Cersei suffers another concussion, who had a problem with that in the preseason as well, had just returned right before the beginning of the first week. So what we guys got is not only are the injuries just keep coming and coming at us, but we're suffering more, and we've already suffered a litany where we've lost Greg Olsen potentially for the season, or at least for like 6 weeks, in my opinion. We've lost Matt Khalil. We've lost a ton. I don't know, Darrell Williams. The list is getting so long I can't even keep up with them, guys. Is there any point where you go, injuries just can totally derail the season, or did we see enough from guys today where we think we can weather the storm until we get healthy?
Oh, that's a definite risk. I mean, you lose a Dante Jackson, those types of players. I mean, at some point the house falls in. But one good thing is we do have an early bye this season, so maybe that will play in our favor, get some guys healed up and back.
Yeah, we got to hope for that. I think
the bye.
Yeah, but at the rate they're dropping, it could get really bad. We need some good karma coming our way.
By the way, I'm sitting here watching the Packers Vikings in overtime, and Vikings just missed a field goal, so they got a tie, 29-29.
Oh, 22 ties, 2 weeks, 2 ties. I picked the Vikings to go in there and upset them. Did not happen. Aaron Rodgers, talk about a man who can play through anything. Good gosh, that guy is a beast. Now, so injuries are mounting. The Carolina Panthers defense today really struggled. I thought James Bradbury played pretty well and held up pretty well against Julio at times. Again, this comes back to the defensive line. No, Joey, and I'll start with you. The lack of pressure. We did not see KK get to the quarterback. We did not see Addison get to the quarterback. Julius Peppers, nowhere to be found in this. Is this a matter? I understand that they're getting the ball out quick sometimes, but they took their share of shots downfield. Matt Ryan had his time in the pocket as well. We just were not sustaining any pressure, and our secondary is just not good enough to hold up in the long run with no pressure. Is Eric Washington's face today, which was really disturbed, Joey, and angry on the sidelines? I'm starting to think he's perpetually angry faced. It was deserved today. How do we get this defensive line back on track, man?
And that's a very good question. Last week we looked so good on the defensive front. I expected a better result today. Considering that the Falcons had injuries along the offensive front, I expected there to be pressure. Aside from getting the ball out quickly, they really didn't generate it, and I don't know what they could have done different to get it. Atlanta was just playing that well.
Yeah, they looked. You guys said several times that Atlanta's good. They look better. They're a talented team. I knew that last week was kind of a blip on their radar. They didn't look terrible. They just weren't able to finish. Mel, what's the current status of? Well, first, did anybody see if the Saints lost to the Browns or won? Did they come back?
They came back and won.
Yeah, the Browns kicker sent the field goal to win it.
Yuck. All right. So now we fall. We're 1-1 in the division. We're alongside of Atlanta, who has the tiebreaker now over us. Tampa Bay, I'm pretty sure they won, right? I wasn't able to look and watch football with the same ease as I usually have because this stupid Florence knocked out my Fox channel. So now Tampa Bay is ahead in the division. Number 2, Atlanta. Number 3 goes to the Panthers probably, and we're tied, I guess, for third and last with the Saints. Guys, Mel, one of the other things that's uncharacteristic, like Tampa Bay being in the lead in our division, was Luke Kuechly. Not really, he missed a couple of tackles today, they said. Was trouble finishing. Is this just a bad game for this defense? Or do you see systemic problems looming?
Oh, it's just one bad game. I mean, Luke had a great game. He really did. I mean, that was kind of a highlight comment that the guy made, but he was being blocked by one guy, had one arm on the guy, and the guy went through it, and you call that a missed tackle.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like it was sloppy play by Kuechly. I think Kuechly,
really, it was a great play he made. He just couldn't finish it. He had a guy blocking him.
Right. I thought his knee was down, man. I thought it was so close to his knee being down. I don't know how he stayed on his feet, that guy.
Yeah, I mean, that was, tip your cap to him on that play. But, I mean, there were times that Luke was calling out the play before it got there, and and he just shooting the gap and tackling the guy deep in the backfield. I honestly think they over-prepared for Devontae Freeman. They got a different back in there, and it threw them off their game. And the Falcons are too talented to not be prepared.
Yeah, we started out so strong, I felt, too. After that first quarter, I thought, man, if you can do this with this offensive line, we're going to be in decent shape. So, tough loss here, guys. We're going to continue to follow this game as we watch and break down it to every play, I'm sure, in the next couple of days. And we're going to get a more thorough account for that on the C3 Panthers podcast on Tuesday night, 9 p.m. We'd love for you to be a part of the show. We thank everybody for being a part of the YouTube chat right now. You can continue to join that conversation by leaving a message on the Cat Calls line. The number is 252-228-5098. Thoughts and prayers to all the people that are enduring. What's her name again? Florence?
Flo? Hurricane Florence.
Flo. Oh, Flo. Yeah, really just disrupting the Panthers' flow and the flow of football Sunday for me. Guys, we expect Mel, are you going to be able to make it Tuesday, or you got some traveling to do?
I should be here. I was supposed to be traveling this week, but I think Flo knocked that travel plans out, so I should be good.
All right. Fantastic. Joe Riolano, thanks for joining us on the short notice, and we're going to see everybody on Tuesday night. Follow @cat_chronicles. And make sure to go to CarolinaCatChronicles.com and be a part of Growing Panther Nation with us.